Who are you spending time with? Epictetus was famously lame, having had his leg crippled while in slavery. Marcus Aurelius spent enormous amounts of time with Epictetus's writings. It didn't make him limp, it made him wiser, more resilient, calmer, more compassionate. Epictetus passed those things on to him. A slave shaped a king and made him better. Is this in my control? What is in our control is primarily our thoughts, emotions, desires, choices, and actions, or at least certain aspects of them, and that everything else strictly speaking lies outside of our control, is consistent. But it also understandably raises objections from most students fairly quickly. It is true that one can deliberately eat healthily, practice decent hygiene, and get regular exercise, and then still fall ill, or get hurt in an accident, or any number of other things to which the body is vulnerable. Ultimately, in many important respects, the health, life, condition, or attractiveness of the body remains outside of our control. But we do control some aspects, at least for a time. Those fall into what the Stoics call use of that external matter, one's own body. What does your ideal day look like? Seneca says a life is made up of days. How you are going to design your life. It matters what you do, whether it gives you short-term pleasure or long-term happiness. The day turns into a week, the week into a month, and the month in a year. Be accountable for your day, whatever you're doing right now. James Clear teaches us in his book Atomic Habits that when you are increasing by 1% per day, that's 365% of progress in a year, but when you are stuck to a rut every day, that continues to become 365% of deteriorating. To be or to do? It's amazing how much you can accomplish if you don't care about who gets the credit when you want to become something or someone you set a desire. That's a path toward your unhappiness. Rather, start doing small things rather than desiring to be something. If I am not for me, who is? If I am only for me, who am I? To be a good person, don't think about your own interests. But, as Rabbi Hillel suggests, if a person is not concerned with his own needs and well-being, why should he expect others to be? For example, if a sick person makes no effort to treat his illness, is it reasonable to expect others to devote themselves to treating it? Such a level of self-sacrifice seems pointless. After all, the biblical verse that explicitly commands love your neighbor as yourself implicitly commands us to love ourselves as well. But don't be only for yourself. If you are only for yourself, you cease to be a real human being, and you become no longer a who, but a what. Don't be a what, Hillel reminds us. Be a who. What am I missing by choosing moments that are waiting for you to grab them? You're living a limited time worrying about your future from the actions of the present and past. Sometimes, you will know exactly what you're worried about. Other times, you might not know exactly what's bugging you. There is almost always something you can do to help you feel less worried. Sitting there worrying is no fun and it probably won't solve your problem. But switching to an action mode can help you feel more hopeful. If your problem is helpless, you need to have patience and faith in yourself. Visualize about a better future. Worrying about your future will make you more miserable. Are you doing your job? Everyone has a job at every moment. It might be personal, corporate, small, or big. But are you actually doing it? Some individuals appear to be allergic to honest work, but opportunity is equally allergic to them. In any business, profession, or occupation, there comes a time when you have to deliver. You may fake it for time, pretending that you're giving an honest effort, but eventually you will be measured by your deeds, not by your words. If you are more of a talker than a doer, make a vow today, right now, to change your behavior. You may be able to drift through life if you never do more than you are required to do, but you will never know what you might have achieved if you had only been willing to give a little more. Who have an affinity for hard work, not an allergy to it, Napoleon Hill. What is the most important thing? What is the most important thing you do? What do you actually value? Talking about me, the most important thing I feel and I truly value is being humble and kind to everyone. You may not know what the person beside you going through. I always try not to be rude to anyone. Tell me about your thing. What do you value the most? Does this actually matter? Marcus Aurelius says ask yourself at every moment, is this essential? Because most of what we do and say is not essential. When you eliminate the inessential you get the double benefit of doing the essential things better. You have to know who's this for? What is the outcome of your actions? Is it going to help someone? Think about it before you create such an action. Will this be a live time or dead time? Now is now. Use your time to move forward, not backward. Seneca says it is not that we have a short space of time, but that we waste much of it. Life is long enough, and it has been given in sufficiently generous measure to allow the accomplishment of the very greatest things if the whole of it is well invested. Is this who I want to be? Is this truly what you want to be? Is it making you happier in the long run? Ask your inner self. If not, consider the change. These are some of the questions you can ask yourself on a daily basis. Keep the